Scientists found the silent scream of human skin for the first time. The body you inhabit is made up of lots of moving parts that need to communicate with each other. Some of this communication in the nervous system, for example, takes the form of bioelectric signals that propagate through the body to trigger the appropriate response. And now, US researchers have discovered that the epithelial cells that line our skin and organs are able to signal the same way to communicate peril. They just use a long, slow scream rather than the rapid-fire communications of neurons. It's a huge surprise since these cells had been previously considered mute and may open new avenues for electric medical devices to accelerate healing. Epithelial cells do things that no one has ever thought to look for, says polymath Steve Granick of the University of Massachusetts Amherst. When injured, they scream to their neighbors, slowly, persistently, and over surprising distances. It's like a nervous impulse, but 1,000 times slower. The body's communication network keeps it functioning. You'll whip your hand off a hot stove, toot to sweet, without even thinking about it. That's your nervous system at work. Your heart's pumping action is regulated via electric signals. The discovery of this enabled the invention of the artificial pacemaker. Granick and his colleagues, biomedical engineer Sun-Min Yu of the University of Massachusetts Amherst, designed a system to investigate cellular communication in the epithelium. Their system consisted of a chip connected to an array of around 60 electrodes. This chip was coated with a single layer of lab-grown human keratinocytes, the main epithelial cells that make up the epidermis, the outer layer of our skin. With a laser, the researchers stung the skin layer using the electrode array to listen in to the electrical shifts that followed. And Yu says we tracked how cells coordinate their response. It's a slow-motion, excited conversation. The resulting signals propagate at speeds of around 10 millimeters per second across quite large distances up to hundreds of micrometers from the site of the wound. It seems not dissimilar to the electrical calcium signaling observed in plants when damaged by a hungry caterpillar, as seen in the video here in the article. And this communication, the researchers observed, relied heavily on ion channels, small pores in cell membranes that allow the transport of charged ions, predominantly calcium. In particular, these epithelial cell ion channels respond to the mechanical stimulus, such as pressure or stretching, which is slightly different from the ion channels of neurons, which respond to changes in voltage or chemistry. The epithelial signals last much longer than neuronal signals too, with some conversations recorded for up to 5 hours, according to the researchers. However, the voltage was of a similar amplitude that to the observed in neurons, and the communication cycled through the phases that neuronal communication does. And because this is only a newly discovered phenomenon, more work needs to be conducted to understand how it works and the different contributing factors. We don't know for sure what the cells are using for the signal, or if different kinds of epithelial cells are operating differently when it comes to communicating harm, though initial tests suggest calcium ions are involved. However, the discovery hints at new possibilities for biomedical devices like wearable sensors and electronic badges that accelerate wound healing. Understanding these screams between wounded cells opens doors we did not know existed, Yu says. And the research was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. This is by Michelle Starr at Science Alert. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.